Hello and welcome to another video on the Scouring Early Access. Today's match is going to be a 2v2 game with me, the Perfect Gamer, and my ally Steve 6 against our enemies, ADKI, and My Dream Forever. Over here I start as the red orc player. And so I decided to do the archer build order. And here my ally, Steve 6, playing as the yellow orcs. I guess he's gonna be just making a barracks, so probably gonna be making a few warriors and then a few more archers later in the game. And over here, the first enemy, Cyan Orc, ADKI. Looks like he made a barracks. And he made a tier 2 upgrade. So he's probably thinking of making a few munchers, I guess. That's his favorite playstyle. Get a few warriors and then try to get fast munchers. Over here, the final enemy, My Dream Forever. Looks like he did the normal Goblin Archer build order. And over here, I decided to scout with a single archer. Because it's a 2v2 game, so if you see an enemy close to you, then they're pretty much close together. But if they're not here, then they're usually on the other side, which is the case. But I did go and make sure that that is the case by checking this base as well. And here you can see the side player, instead of killing a few wolves, just go straight for the troll. I guess probably thinking of just denying this XP and gold that he can get by killing this troll. But he only took 5 level 1 warriors. And as we can see here, this is not the, I guess, exact amount to do it very safely. You have to micro it very well, like he did it here. And over here, I decide to scout who's over here. And I get to kill a low health wolf with this single archer. And here I guess I was too busy microing this archer. Did I even realize that the Cyan player killed my wolves? It's very annoying. Because now I can't get free XP from these wolves. But at the same time, I was kind of thinking of making an outpost here and trying to get auto levels by having arcing shots with these goblins. But in the end, I decided that it would be more beneficial to just get a second base a little faster. And here I managed to spot the Cyan player's warriors, which then allows me to go and scare them away, you could say. Here you can see my ally made out of goblin archers. And so a lot of archers on our team. And then I guess a lot of warriors and just beginning muncher production of the Cyan. And a lot of archers of the white player. And here I decided to pay back Mr. Cyan, who killed my wolves, by just going and killing the rest of his wolves here, so he can't level up his units. Right here you can see they're kind of joining forces, so I just decide to go home, I guess. Or I think to kill this outpost. And here you can see started to make a base. And so did my ally. In a very similar time. And here I'm just getting some XP by killing some bandits. And I'll be producing a warrior, which I already did. Which I'm going to send to get some vision by capturing these 2 outposts. But over here you can see my enemies joined forces, and they're actually going to be looking to attack my ally, I guess. But I'm somewhat far now on the map, so I will arrive pretty late to help my ally. And here I see that they're attacking him, and so I think that might as well go and attack one of the enemy's bases. This way I could maybe kill their units or their workers. So this is what I did. Here I tried to send some reinforcements, but I guess maybe I forgot to send them here because I was a little busy trying to micro my archers. But I guess I do manage to kill these 2 munchers. And I forced the white player to come back to his own base. Here you can see the white player is actually making a lot of cannons, which definitely means that he's thinking of getting some artillery ability on him. Because it's the usual combo of auto archers and artillery cannons, or auto warriors with artillery cannons. But here you can see having a single base, very few workers, and no sawmill. It's going to be very difficult to have consistent muncher production, you could say. And here I just put my archers on hold so I can get some extra XP by doing these arcing shots against these neutral goblin archers. Which of course makes killing them very slow, which of course allows me to level up my archers. And here I decided to kill these neutrals because I saw the enemies were kind of close. And at the same time I was using my other archer group to kill some neutrals. And here I just retreat. Made a few cannons myself for some defense. Then I was thinking of making a shield ability, making all the warriors, and then maybe having a mixed archer and warrior build. But I think I'm gonna decide to cancel that. And I guess just try and get the muncher cave and just make all the munchers instead of all the warriors. I guess especially because of the production of munchers from the side player. So here I just have some cannons, a good amount of archers. And I guess maybe I didn't realize I already have my muncher cave built. So I kind of forgot to make my munchers. And now I realize, but of course, now the enemy is gonna be kind of trying to attack me But here, I guess, super annoying. Started making a bastion. And then right now, the two enemies are gonna want to try and do a targeted attack against me, but from two different directions. It's gonna be very annoying to deal with. Especially because I don't have artillery. And so it's going to be very difficult to do anything here. And so here I had to cancel my tier 3, which is super annoying. Makes me, I guess, take longer to get the rage. On top of that, the enemy killed my muncher cave, so now I can't even produce munchers. Yeah, now I have to deal with the white over here. And so here I decide to, I guess, fight. I just select all my workers and just tell them to attack, because might as well use them to fight instead of just watch them die. But here my enemy did a somewhat of a mistake. He just left his cannons here. He probably should have kept them away so he can bombard my archers on top of these barracks. And this somehow allowed me to take out his cannons. And then eventually his archers. And after that, pretty much the rest of this annoying attack. So there we have it. Kind of slowed down my tier 3. Killed my muncher cave so I couldn't produce units for a while. Killed all the workers. So I'm going to be a little crippled. But I do have a second base so I can somewhat easily recover with a double worker production. Here my ally gets bullied by these munchers. We'll keep running in and just killing his workers. And then they can easily run away. But I guess instead of running away, my enemy decides to stand and try and kill as many workers as possible. Which I guess is a little unfortunate for my ally. Because a good amount of his workers are on very low health. So now my ally is also heavily crippled. Because he lost all the workers also. But at least he's going to have a tier 3 somewhat soon. So he can get the worker upgrade. Which then allows you to produce workers twice as fast. Which is what I was also thinking of. But also trying to get a few munchers. So over here you can see the enemies have a lot of workers. White has a second base. Cyan has a single base, and then he made a little secret base here. Which we're gonna find very late in the game. Here I saw my ally was about to be attacked. And I just destroyed here, as we can see. So I decided to, yes, try and delay the enemy. Because I knew I couldn't really fight these cannons. And so I just brought a few of my own. Just to hold no man's land in this position, I guess. Finally, I got worker upgrade researched. Are being researched, building an altar, and here the enemy is trying to be annoying. And I guess I do decide to run him down. And here I tell my workers to attack as well, because might as well help out. At least I do lose a few workers, but it wasn't that much. And I can easily replace a lot of them with faster production. And here the white player, I guess, was trying to maybe attack or just be a little annoying with his artillery. But I was somehow keeping him delayed by just these two single cannons. Which is a little surprising, because my ally doesn't really have much of an army himself. And if enemies attacked all as one, then we won't have a bit of trouble defending. And over here, my rage was about to finish. But now I'm going to do a bit of a mistake. Because I guess I forgot to put my workers on wood. So I'm not going to have any wood to make munchers. And I thought that I could make munchers, so I just decided to maybe do an attack against an enemy during the same time that I have rage and they don't. And so my army won't be 3 times as powerful. But I guess I kind of fail to use that opportunity to use my power spike of having rage. And so now my base is overrun with skeletons. And now you guys have a lot of gold and no wood. And so I guess that was a bit of a missed opportunity, but I guess just decided to make a bigger army, I guess, or just defend my base. Here I decided to split my archers so they can defend my base. And they can also provide me with a lot of vision, which is going to allow me to not have an issue of skeletons anymore. But here, of course, I can see that my enemy researched rage. And he has more munchers, which is very annoying. And so now he's going to be just doing a lot of economic damage to me. But I guess I do eventually clean up this disgusting mess. And as you can see, I once again have no more workers. In comparison, of course, to the enemies, you just have unending amount of workers. But I have a worker upgrade, or, oh yeah, which then allows me to rebuild them relatively quickly, so just a relatively small setback as my enemies lost their armies. And so over time I'm going to have a bigger army because I don't throw away my armies like they are doing here. And of course, just right after losing all my workers, I lose like more than half of my workers that I had again. And this enemy just runs away, which makes me very annoyed. Nice angry, you could say. Which is why I typed this right here. It's homosexual behavior where you just run in, kill all the workers like a rat, and then you run away. And so I was kind of annoyed. I decided to run in here and try and, I guess, have a fight against my enemy. But here I saw that I'm going to be flanked here very soon by the white player. So I tried to run away. But here the white player kind of does a mistake. Runs forward a little too far. Which then makes him sandwiched between me and my allies' munchers here. And so here we just entirely annihilate both their armies. They pretty much have no armies left. And so at this point we have a very big advantage. But of course, my ally decides to sacrifice his army here by only attacking with munchers instead of staying home and making an even bigger army of munchers and then attacking. And so I was like, well, whatever, screw it. So I went to try and help him as well. And sent even more reinforcements. But we're going to see here that it's kind of not worth it overall. Going to lose a lot of high level units and just a lot of units in general. And we pretty much just killed 2 barracks. I mean, pretty much like very few workers. And so that was a very terrible tactical decision, you could say. Because we could have even, instead of attacking here, went around here and checked out if the enemies made any expansions. As we can see here, expansions are usually very poorly defended. You can easily overrun them and just destroy them. But of course, you don't really think in the heat of a moment. You just do rash decisions, you could say. Anyways, I just had a lot of gold, so I decided to make another base. On top of that, my main base is running out, so it's a good idea. Here I tried to work with my teammate to try and kill an expansion. As I knew, we were not just sitting here forever. We'll try to expand here eventually. One single muncher delayed my base for a while, which is super annoying. And over here I began fighting without my ally. And I probably should have just ran over all of these workers, but I guess it is what it is. Here my ally, I guess, does a few soppy death clouds, poisons the enemy, and then pretty much a good amount of his own munchers as well. And I guess now he can't really run away with his warlocks, so he decides to throw away the rest of his army here. But of course, once again, we killed pretty much no workers, just a lot of units, but our enemies had bigger economies, so we can eventually remake their armies as well. And here I saw that my expansion was kind of full, so I decided to make an extra base, because I knew that this base was going to be running out, and this base would have too many useless workers, so might as well use them. But here I was a little surprised if I had cleared this, and so it delayed me from getting this base because of this single stupid archer. But anyways, I think here start researching the death cloud or the poison, and I do begin making a few warlocks. which can be extremely effective when fighting mostly Muncher armies, which is pretty much what everyone is making, because everyone's playing Orc in this match. But over here you can see my ally ran out of gold, so his only decision is to try and hold this gold mine in the middle, but it being in the middle makes it very difficult to defend, so he's gonna have fun with that. And here, I guess I forgot about these workers for a long time, so it's a little unfortunate, but I guess I will eventually remember. And here you can see, just having proper vision and archer control allows your base to be just extremely safe. But over here, I think there are a few skeletons here spawning, but of course an easy fix for that is you can make a few farms which can help you with vision control. And here my ally loses his final mining base, but I decide to keep fighting, just killing a good amount of their military here. And here I realized I'm a bit of a noob, and I only had 2 barracks, so it'll eventually decide to get 2 more. And 4 barracks I can actually have somewhat proper production. And here of course I remember I can make a few potions, which can make your munchers survive for way longer than they should. Especially if an enemy uses the poison ability on your munchers. I guess even over here, the Cyan managed to get this base. So now he has 2 bases, and the white has 1. And here, I was trying to attack here to the next base. Here you can see I did a very beautiful poison on the enemy. Pretty much most of his army is now almost half dead because of the Death Cloud ability. Here I just run down all the workers and then just try to kill a few of these munchers. And here I guess I forgot to look, and my ally leads these munchers to my warlocks. And here I quickly try to poison the munchers, which I do somewhat successfully. And now I just surround the enemy munchers here. And then now they're just gonna be melting away. But of course, I did kill most of their army, which didn't cost most of my army, and so I have just a few munchers. Here my ally is losing even more workers. And so I guess I do try to help him out. Interesting, he made a forward barracks here. I guess he was trying to dine his gold base and then trying to maybe take it himself. But of course I do put a stop to this nonsense by destroying this barracks. And so eventually my ally does get the tier 2 town hall here, which can be somewhat defended, which can be useful. But I guess another tactic that my ally maybe didn't know So you can make called outposts, or I mean guard towers. Could spread them out. Good amount of them here. And just put all the cannons on here, and then they're just going to be melting any muncher run-bys that the silent player did a lot in this game, because they're very difficult to take down. And the cannons are just going to be melting away all the level 1 munchers. But my enemy has also a similar idea. He is getting more potions, but I guess maybe he never played into the late game, so he probably didn't know about warlocks or how to use them properly. So I guess he just, or I guess he does have a few, but I don't think he would make more than that. Anyways, over here I was preparing to attack. I guess kill these annoying cannons is what I was doing here. Then I was making some of my own cannons here to try and have a proper assault against these 2 bases on top. Here my ally gets overwhelmed by all these munchers. These annoying cannons just bombarding all his units here. So now he has very few workers left. But I guess I was too busy trying to make all the potion crates, a few cannons to try and do a proper attack. So I could have also probably made a few guard towers here, and then put all the cannons on them. Here I had some warhawks, so I poisoned pretty much this whole army, which is now very squishy and very easy to take down my healthy muncher army, which all have potions. So this is a very nice pick-off for me, or I guess you could say very cost efficient fight. But here there were some cannons here, but I guess my brain kind of didn't work, so forgot I could have made a few warriors and just climbed up here and then just taken over this outpost very easily. And here my ally's being destroyed. He has no more gold, but he doesn't say that, so I just had no idea. So that's why he couldn't really deal with these few numbers of munchers. But I guess in my mind, I was thinking that I should try and kill these 2 bases, so my enemies don't have anything left to mine. But as we can see here, there's pretty much nothing left to mine anyways, so I'm gonna be running out of gold here pretty soon. And of course right here, this is when the annoying part of a game begins, because now white and cyan are going to be doing these annoying run-bys, and I am forced to pretty much cut my army in half to have 1 control of munchers running down cyan's munchers, and I have another group of munchers, I guess, defending yellow or doing a proper attack against these bases. And I guess here, this was just super annoying. Running to one place on the map, and then having to run to another, just back and forth. It's just very annoying on my mind. And here I just decide that it's just worth it to just not care about this base and let it die to this annoying little white player. I'm just gonna do a big attack against this 2 bases here. And here I'm just farming a few skeletons and just defending against the Cyan, who was trying to munch away the buildings of the yellow player. And by breaking buildings you get a lot of gold, so that's why I wanted to deny him from doing that. Of course, in the meantime, I was attacking here. And of course, my allies' base gets destroyed here. But I guess I thought it was worth it, because I could at least gain gold by killing all this stuff here. So eventually it would work out for me. And here I saw the enemies were kind of putting their forces together. So I tried to regroup my launchers, try and get a bigger force. So over here I just slaughter a very big amount of workers, destroy his base, and now the enemies finally decide to do a effective run by, which is attacking a weak point in our defenses, where both my muncher armies are kind of too far, and so I do lose a few munchers here. And of course over here, Cyan's gaining gold, and white's being annoying, so it's super annoying having to control 2 groups of munchers to try and run them down, while controlling this one, looking here and then clicking, and then controlling this one. Just a lot of juggling. And I guess a lot of APM, or actions per minute. And so over here, of course, I miss these munchers. And so they run away, and then I'm back here, just defending my ally. And so pretty much I just use my ally as a meat shield, just defend him. This way my farms are protected, because my enemy, I guess, didn't feel like running in here, even though he could have. Just ate all of my workers. That'll be super annoying as hell. But, of course, I did prepare for that scenario, and I had a few warlocks, which could put a few good poisons, and so their army would just melt away. And here I was finally preparing a big attack against the enemies. So the cannons, good amount of warlocks, and a whole lot of munchers. And now I prepared to attack this outpost, just kill these cannons. Now I'm going to be basically attacked from both sides. So I decide to stand and fight and try and hide my warlocks in the middle of my munchers. Play some good death clouds, and just somehow have more stuff. And I just have a lot of potions. So that's why I won this fight. Even though I was very good surrounded by the enemy. And now the enemies pretty much have no more gold, or the white player has no more gold, so he can't really defend himself. And the cyan player, this is pretty much all the army he has left. But I still have a lot of gold. But I just have a lot of gold from just having a lot of kills in general, because I kind of forgot to remake that many workers. I think I just remade more of them maybe 1 or 2 minutes ago. I'm just non-stop clicking and producing workers, or I mean, or the units here for my production. I was pretty much having a hard time of using all my gold. Here I have a group of munchers still defending yellow. here is preparing the final big army. But I just said that screw cannons, super annoying, super slow. So I decided to make auto warriors instead. And I ran over here to check if there was another base here. But of course, there wasn't, because my enemies have no more gold. So this is pretty much all we have left. A few cannons, and a good amount of launchers. Oh, and I guess Cyan doesn't have this base, but it is going to be running out somewhat shortly. Here I decided to make a base here, but I didn't really click these gold mines, so I didn't really know how much gold there was. It was pretty much 0. I think now. I'm finally ready to attack. So just take my forces and just lead with my munchers. Wow, this veteran muncher. It's 21 kills. He's a literal good veteran. I saw many battles. And he just dies in the front line. Here the enemies try to flank me, but I just have way too much stuff, and they lose pretty much most of their ground army. And here, my warriors can just easily neutralize the cannons by just going on top of the buildings, which makes attacking this base very easy, I guess. Here, the final attempt of the Cyan player. Just right in here and kill a good amount of workers. And I just sent some munchers to run him down. Here, my ally actually was getting some gold. He invested all that gold to just make a lot of archers. I guess a few warlocks to defend better. Over here, the white player surrenders, because he pretty much had no more gold. Or I guess he had a little bit, but just didn't have much of a base left. Here I begin attacking. There's this control group of munchers to fight, because I knew he had no more potions. And all these munchers have a lot of potions, so I would win here eventually. And here I just send a lot of warriors. I just manually selecting a few of them and then clicking them on top of these barracks. And this way I was able to just easily destroy all the very annoying cannons, which would do a lot of damage to me if I didn't send the warriors to deal with them. Just what I want to do. Big army of munchers to fight in open battle, and then to have some warriors or cannons to help you attack into fortified positions, or I guess more heavily cannon fortified positions. You can use more warriors, and if it's more archer fortified positions, you can use more cannon artillery. That's pretty much it. See the results. You can see I mined more gold, and I had a whole lot more gold left because of all the killing I was doing here. You can see my ally didn't really do that well compared to the two enemies, but he did, I guess, do really well at defending his own base against their attacks, and he did help me fight in some few battles. But here you can see I was just pumping out a lot of units, and most of these were, I guess, workers and a lot of munchers, because I did lose my workers constantly to the filthy raids by the side player. So it was a bit interesting. I was sweating hard trying to win. And my APM was like super high, or as high as I can remember it ever being. So there you have it. It's a pretty interesting match. Anyways, if you liked the video, you can leave a like, leave a comment. If you want to see more videos on the Scouring Early Access, then you can subscribe. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.